Let me ask you something. Do you feel this something in the air? It's a little tingle, a little calling. It's calling your name, my name for sure. It's here for us. It's gonna be basted in butter, infused with garlic and thyme. It's gonna be so juicy, it's gonna blow your mind. And you know what that is? It's a steak, and not just any steak. It's a ribeye steak. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Man in the Kitchen. I'm Levon, this is my kitchen. And in case you couldn't tell from that intro, tonight is gonna be extra. In fact, everything about tonight is gonna be extra. The food is gonna be extra. The video is gonna be extra. The jokes are gonna be extra. I got two beautiful ribeye steaks. They're huge, 1.5 inch, 2 inch thick, I don't know, 10 inches long. We're gonna season them, then we're gonna fry them to a perfect crust, then we're gonna baste them with butter infused with garlic and fresh thyme, and then we just let them rest. And after they rest, we're gonna be treated to the most beautiful center cut you'll ever see in your life. This is serious, guys, because we're making ribeye. We're on, because it's a steak. It is royal. This is serious business. There are 5 nuances, and these nuances are absolutely crucial to getting a nice steak. They're so crucial, but we got a board, okay? Okay, it's a notebook, it's a yellow notebook. That's the best I could do. We got a notebook, and we got a pen or a marker. And on this notebook, we're gonna write down the 5 nuances that we have to keep in mind. Let's go. So, to kick things off, what do we need? Well, obviously we need a steak. Nuance number 1, get a thick steak. Don't get one of those like thin slabs because they're really hard to cook. By the time you get them to crust up, they're gonna be completely cooked through. Step 1, thick steak. It's on the board. We got 2 beautiful steaks here. This cut of meat is incredible. It has the nice, tender, fatty rim around it. It has the marbled kind of middle. It has the tip, the ribeye tip. It's a little explosion of heaven in your mouth. In addition to the steak, we got a few veggies going. We got broccoli, beans, onions. That's what we're gonna kind of cleanse our palate with, kind of break up those bits of heaven. It's a third wheel kind of relationship. They're there for the ride, but nobody really cares what they have to say. It's entirely optional. They know it, we know it. We're just gonna kind of cook them, throw them in while our meat is resting here and there, and then at the end we're gonna plate them. They're gonna make the whole thing look really nice, but they're not the star of the show. So if you have that, follow along. If not, it's all good. So we got steaks, we got veggies, and then we're gonna need some butter, a few cloves of garlic, and some fresh thyme. That's it. It's like 3 ingredients. That's why I love this dish. It is so good. You don't need anything else. Get yourself a steak, get yourself a nice bottle of wine, sit down, fork, knife, go at it. Savage, brutal. Kind of wish I had my beard right now. So in reality, this cooking video started about 2 hours ago when I took that steak out of the fridge and left it to rest to bring it up to room temperature. This is crucial. Why? Because science. The steak from the fridge is cold. If you throw it in the pan right away, you're gonna end up burning your surface before the middle even starts cooking. In fact, this is so crucial, it's going on the board. Step 2, room temperature. It's on the board. To kick things off, we're gonna season our steak. You can season your steak in 2 ways. One way, salt it and then fry it right away. The other way, salt it, let it rest for like 30 minutes, then fry it. What you shouldn't do is salt it, let it rest for 10 minutes, and then fry it. Here's what happens when you salt the meat. You're gonna salt that meat. Salt is gonna penetrate and start extracting the moisture. After 10 minutes, water is gonna be on top. It's gonna prevent you from getting that crust. After 10-15 minutes more, it's gonna start reabsorbing back in. So what do? We salt it, and we let it rest for like 30 minutes. Alternatively, salt it and then right away start frying it. In this case, we do have a bit of time. We're gonna salt it, we're gonna leave it aside, and we're gonna prep our veggies. The veggies are gonna be super simple. So we're just gonna chop up that broccoli, we're gonna chop up those beans, slice up this onion, and just leave it aside for a bit and return to the guest of honor. Take a look, it's been about 10 minutes now. See how the steak is all shiny? That's all the moisture coming out of it. We're gonna set it aside, rest it for another 10-15 minutes. At this point, it's been about 20-25 minutes. My patience is over because I gotta eat. And this steak is calling my name. Oh, fry me, cook me, eat me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So let's go to the stove. At the stove, crucial step, crucial nuance, get a thick pan. Why is that important? Because we got a lot of meat here. If the pan can't retain heat, it's gonna get cold right away and your steak is gonna start steaming. So get a nice thick pan. It's going on the board. 3, thick pan. If you've noticed, we got a thick theme going. We got a thick steak, we got a thick pan. It's epic. We like things epic. So once we have the thick pan, we're gonna heat it up to high temperature with just a bit of olive oil. And here's a pro tip, because we have a ribeye with a ton of fat, go ahead, slice off a tiny piece of it and throw it into the pan. We're gonna let it melt, we're gonna let it render, and then we're gonna fry the ribeye in it. Guys, we're frying the ribeye in its own fat. How poetic is that? Oil is gonna start heating it up. We get a fork and kind of start swirling it around the pan. Once it starts to get smoky, sizzly, that's our cue to go. So we're gonna take that piece of fat out. Do not throw it out, please. I'll have a heart attack. Take a piece of bread, put it on the bread, eat it. It's absolutely delicious. We're gonna take the fat out, put the steaks in. So take a steak, carefully place it in the pan. See my steaks? They're a bit too big for this pan. They're kind of tight in there. So what I'm doing is I took a fork and kind of started separating them out a bit. All right, this is just gonna help them fry and make sure they're getting nice and toasty. We're gonna wait for that crust to form. Don't move them, just let them fry. They're gonna be great. Four minutes later, or however long later, I suck with timings, just peek, see if the crust is there. If it's gold, if it's brown, it's time to flip it. We're gonna start basting it with that butter. So get a nice blob of butter and plump it into the pan. It's gonna sizzle, it's gonna smell, it's gonna be absolutely insane. With that butter, we're gonna go in with a few cloves of garlic. Don't peel them, just take them, crush them, throw them in. Then get a twig of thyme, and this is like if you want to be extra, like I did. You take that thyme, you dip it in the butter, and you kind of brush the steak like a painting. Steak is your canvas. The thyme is your brush. This steak is your steak Elisa. Or it's the steaky night. We're making a work of art tonight. A wonder. I think it deserves a place up there. When you're tired of role-playing Picasso, just throw the thyme on the steak, get a spoon, and kind of throw a few spoons of butter on top of it on each side, and we'll leave it at that. At this point, it's a good time to start checking your steak for doneness. You got 5 steaks. Rare, medium well, well done. Gonna group together well and medium well because those are equally awful. This is how you do it. Get your fingers. You got the thumb, got the index finger. Connect them. Feel your little cushion over here. See how it's soft and tender? It doesn't really bounce back? That is rare. Go to the next finger. Feel it. You got a little bounce going? That's medium rare. This is the golden place. Next up, it doesn't really press in much more. This is medium. Next one is medium well to well done. We don't go there, all right? Please don't go there. Medium rare is the only way to cook a steak. Medium is like the most that you can go, in my opinion. Medium well, well done? Go make a chicken breast. It's going on the board. Medium rare. Boom. It's there, you can't run from it. So we're going for medium rare. Get our fingers together, we're gonna feel it. Ooh, ooh. Then we're gonna take same figure, we're gonna feel the steak. Ooh, all right. They feel similar, you know it's time to take the steak off. In my case, they're almost at that point. I've wanted to crust the steak up a bit, and it was a bit hard for me to do it with them both in that pan, because like I said, this pan is pretty small. I'm gonna remove one of the steaks from the pan, give the other one about 15 seconds, 30 seconds on each side quickly to get that crust just a bit more brown. After that, I'm gonna switch them up, get the other one, the same thing. Guess what? Our steak is done. I felt it. The medium rare is calling me. We're gonna take it out. Are we gonna eat it? Are we gonna cut into it? No. This is the most crucial step of this entire operation. Get serious. We're gonna let them rest for 15 minutes. When you fry the meat tenses up. If you cut it open right now, all those juices are just gonna spill out onto the cutting board. So let your meat rest. It's going on the board. 5, rest the meat. It's there. You can't run from it. Cover them up, set them aside for 15 minutes. While the steak is resting, we're gonna entertain our third wheel here for a bit, all right? So we're gonna get them veggies and we're gonna fry them real quick. We're gonna start with the onions. The onions going first. We're gonna give them about a minute to kind of start cooking, start getting nice and charred. Then we're gonna follow that up with the beans, and a minute later with the broccoli. We're gonna mix everything up, give it about, a few minutes to cook. Altogether, about 5 minutes in, we're gonna deglaze it with some wine. So get some red wine and just kind of pour a bit in there. We're gonna deglaze the pan, get all those burny pieces off, infuse our veggies. After 4 minutes, you can see the sauce is nice and thick. The veggies are all done. Just gonna turn off the heat, and guess what? We're good to go. Guys, get serious. This is the moment. You've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. We're gonna cut into this steak. We've been working at it, painting it, massaging it. 5 steps, we followed them all along. So get a nice knife, get a fork, and just dig into it, all right? Don't be nice about it, don't be polite about it. Just boom, right down the middle. Look at that center cut, be amazed. Look how incredibly perfect it looks. It is perfection. It is entirely pink, perfectly juicy. This is ecstasy. This is the perfect evening. You think about life, you think about the steak, you think about everything. This is what people ate before we got all these fancy dishes. What did they do? They just went, they got like a freaking deer, threw it on the fire, and we're feasting on it. Okay, maybe we don't have a deer, and maybe we don't have much of a fire, but we went, we got a piece of meat, and now we're feasting. It's raw, primal. Wishing again I had my beer. I really hope this is as special a treat for you as it is for me. I've had a blast. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out. If you've enjoyed it, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm out to devour this thing.